Hello, people of the internet. So today we're going to take a look at the parking brake on the Dodge. And it's always been real light feeling. Like there's the pedal to engage has no, it's like a wet noodle. Now in southeastern Virginia, where everything is more than, flat mostly, I always pass safety inspection. Like, it would engage and it would hold, I guess, well enough to pass safety inspection. But up here with all the hills, it just doesn't hold. You have to put it in gear to get it to hold. And that's just a nuisance. I have been into it a little bit in the past. Like, I've checked the shoes, I've checked the hardware, I've kind of checked the adjustment on it. And I never really came up with anything. I tightened the bolt, the cable adjuster bolt down once, I think, early on. I've had this truck for a good number of years now, so. But again, it's always one of those things that seemed odd, but hey, if it works, it works, Don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, right? But it's getting annoying, so we got to check it. Now, I do have new shoes and hardware and stuff like that, and I haven't taken a wheel off yet. What we're going to do first is mark the cable in a couple of places underneath, then engage the parking brake. Right now the parking brake's off, it's in neutral, it just rolls. And we're going to look to see if those paint marks on the cable move. Some of them, I'm going to put them near the sheathing, so as the cable pulls, at least the forwardmost section should pull into the sheathing, so the mark should be gone, and then the other section should pull further away from them, so the mark should be apparent with space now. If that makes any sense to anybody. So we're going to flip the camera around, get underneath. Trusty paint pen is out. Let's see what we got here. So, right here, nice and loose. And so we're going to come up to the first point, and we're going to paint pin it. Oh, sorry, I'm got the lid in my mouth. We're going to paint pin there, and come back over here, and we're going to put some paint pin right there where we can see. And we're even going to come over here. Yeah, I know everything. Look, I know everybody in the north is like, "Oh, we salt our roads." Oh. Let me tell you, when you live near the ocean and the salt is just in the air you breathe, yeah, it's just as bad, man. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna do this one too. Right, like that. Okay, so we've got 3 points of reference, and see if I can set this camera up on the one. Let's see here. Do I know how to work a tripod? No, I do not. And get there? Yep. Ooh. A little much? We'll use that one. Maybe a little more. Yeah, that's good. You keep an eye on it, and you let me know if anything changes. Hey, look at that. See? It moved. So that tells me that the cable isn't broken somewhere. And even that one there also moved. Now I can measure them out. I'm sure if I open up my FSM, there's going to be like some, functional measurement of like in some unit of measurement, hey, it's going to be 22 ant steps between end to end or something, something crazy like that. Whatever they used, but it doesn't really hold well. I got wheel chocks on it now because I am on a hill and things do roll. But I think what I'm going to do is turn the camera off. I'm going to saturate this in some Croil, and maybe pull this wheel back here off and see what we got. All right, let's see here. So the wheel's off. Grabbed a couple of washers for spacers, just because these are short lug nuts. And I still have the parking brake off, and I'm gonna have to use my crowbar here to help me turn it, or possibly just get on the other side. But what I'm gonna do is engage the parking brake, turn it, and see what level of resistance I get. So you get to come along for the ride as well. I know, fun times on this channel. See if I can get the tripod set up. Point the camera the right way. Okay. So I'm going to spin the wheel just to give an idea of no brake. So that rolls pretty well, I think. All right, parking brake engaged. Alright, well, I can't turn it. I promise you though, when you try to park this thing on a hill, the wheels roll, like, significantly, and don't stop. I'd say that works though. Even though the pedal feels like a wet noodle, that works really well. Huh. The truck shouldn't weigh too much to overcome it, because it does it even when the truck's unloaded. Gotta stop and have a think about this one. It won't turn off. So, to roughly, loosely quote Tim Armstrong, I figured out the problem, and the problem is me. So I don't know what I did on the, so over here on the left, that's where we started. New hardware, new shoes, stuff like that. And I noticed in my parts, I had half a set of everything, which got me thinking. And I remember that before I moved, I had to do brakes all the way around on this. Get it inspected, I think, while we were still in Virginia, because the inspection was coming up, or it had just gotten out of inspection and the brakes needed to be, done within the year. And since we were moving, I figured, no point taking big trip loaded down with, end of life brakes. But either way, had to put brakes all the way around on it. I did that, and I guess in my infinite wisdom, because the right-hand side was okay, I only did half of the parking brake assembly, and yeah, I didn't do a good job. So don't be like me, folks. Do the whole job, not half-ass it. But yeah, so stuff's in here, kind of worn. I mean, the pad life on the shoes isn't bad, but since I have half set and all new hardware, it's going in. Did adjust the other side. The other side was a bit loose fitment wise. Let's see here. And there is so the way the parking brakes are done on these is on the right hand side here. When you go to the left hand side, they're 180 out as far as location of spring and adjuster. On the other side of the truck, the adjuster's up here, and then the big spring is down the bottom. Now there is a plug. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get to it with the camera. No. There is a knockout plug in here, so that you can get a brake spoon in and do adjustment without having to pull the wheels and everything like that. But it was wickedly fiddly trying to get in there and do that. I I don't know. I think I'd almost recommend just pulling the wheel off and doing it. It's not that hard, but you know, you do you. So I don't think anybody needs to see it, but we're gonna pull all the old hardware off. We're gonna get all this stuff off. We're gonna put all the new stuff on. We're gonna readjust everything, and we're gonna check to see, what I got. I should have. I don't know how I'm really gonna test it. Let's see. Hold on. I think I might just take everybody along for a ride and go up to one of my hills and engage the parking brake and see if it rolls on its own, like it usually does, or if it actually stops and holds itself. It's probably going to be the best way to do it, because, that's the whole issue. So yeah, let's get this buttoned up and at least adjust it enough, and then we'll go field test it, right? All right, and with all drum brakes, you want to clean everything. I like to use anti-seize, but you can use anti-seize. You can make sure it's high temp anti-seize. You can use brake lube, whatever just be gentle. That pad gets a little. That pad gets a little. Hey, look. You can see the knockout there. That piece, that's what I was talking about. That's the adjuster knockout. I put a little in there where it's going to ride the shoe, and a little up there where the shoe's going to be on it. That's it. You don't need a lot. Do not. God, I worked with a guy, and he literally thought it was a good idea, and he would take the stuff out of the can and paint it. And I mean, you want to talk about a dude coming out looking like Tin Man when it was all said and done, because it was the silver anti-seize. He would just paint all in here. He would paint hubs and stuff. Oh God, we used to have to do brake work reworks with that dude all the time because, my brakes don't work. He got 10 pounds of anti-seize. So again, I'm rambling. Sorry, like tell stories. Just lightly anti-seize everything. And, that spring, that's no bueno. The spring shouldn't look like that. And these pins, they're not the healthiest. So yeah, it was time. I don't know why I didn't do it last time. Okay, so everything's back together. It's adjusted. Drove out to a nice little spot where I got a good hill, so I can test out the brake. The brake pedal now has, or the parking brake. The parking brake now has good tension. It doesn't drop all the way to the floor. Actually starts to grab probably about third to halfway through the stroke, and then it doesn't. I can't push it past maybe 3/4 of the stroke, of the full stroke, from all the way up down. So I'll flip the camera around, drive up the hill, hit the parking brake. I guess you guys will see if it rolls backwards or not, huh? Let's see. Change it to that. Yeah, I'm good, really. Now the question is, will my tripod get blown over? Okay. All right. So it does hold better. Normally it would roll down that hill like it was in neutral. This time it did not do that. It did still roll backwards though. I don't know if the camera picked it up or not, but it was still slowly rolling backwards. So I probably need to do a little bit more adjustment. And for this, instead of trying to take everything apart again to do the star wheels, I'll probably just try to adjust it out at the cable. Yes, I know you can get to the star wheels from behind. Honestly, it's a pain in the butt. They're in an awkward spot. There's bracketry and things. I just don't like it. I'm not going to try to. I've tried it. I'm not going to do it. But it's 100 times better than it was, which is great. So the moral of the story is, don't be a knucklehead. You know, I don't know why I only did half the job whenever it was that I did half the job, but that was stupid on my part. I should have just done the whole job, and I should have adjusted them out properly, because evidently they just weren't adjusted out properly. You know, people, there's all sorts of excuses you can make, but in the end, you just knucklehead and you're being lazy, and it's life. It's what's going to be. So don't be like me. Don't be a knucklehead. But that's pretty much how you do it. But yeah, that's where we're at. It's 100 times better than it was. I'm happy with it. If you saw the hood mounts, I don't know if you did, but if you saw the hood mounts, it's because I usually leave the hood unlatched. I've got a trickle charger that plugs in, and I just didn't latch the hood when I disconnected it from the trickle charger. It's my truck. I don't have to. And, you know, the hood flies off because I'm an idiot. The hood flies off. Here come the jets. It's pretty awesome when they fly over. Anyway, everybody get out, have fun, have a nice day. Go do something you like.